Hello and welcome to my Clean Your Bearings video. It's a tutorial where I'm going to show you how to clean bearings. In this video I'm going to use inline skates, but the same applies for skateboards, scooters and whatsoever, anything that uses bearings. Alright, so what you need is obviously your bearings. You will need some fine oil. You got to make sure you have some rubber gloves to save your hands and the skin. And then some tool. Preferably a longer wrench because that'll make it easier to get the bearings out of your wheels, or a smaller, more compact one, that depends on what you like. And then, most importantly of all, some rubbing alcohol in an airtight plastic box. This is what we're going to use for the actual cleaning part of it. If you get home from a rainy ride or rainy skate, make sure that you put the bearings in an airtight plastic bag or something right away, because if you leave them out for just a little bit, they'll rust immediately, and that's what we want to avoid. So make sure it's airtight until you get to the point where you can actually clean them. So we're going to start by taking the wheels off and getting the bearings out. Alright, so you get a wrench. I'm just going to fast forward this because it takes a little while and it's not that interesting. So we got them all off. Next step is to take out the bearings. And the reason I brought this slimmer and longer one is sometimes it can be a little difficult getting the actual bearing out. So this one, it's a bit shorter and more compact. It's hard to really get on the inside of the bearing and pull it out. But I'll try and use this one so you guys can see that it's still possible. So what you want to do is you try and get it inside here and then like rub around, and gradually, slowly applying a little bit of force this way, like pull down until you can see the bearings coming out. Then we take the bearing out, the spacer. So there's three components. There's the bearing, there's the spacer, and then we've got the bolt holding the wheel to the frame of the skate. Even though this is what we're going to clean in this video, there's no reason to not also clean the bearings, the spacers, and the axis while we're at it. So I'll put all of this in this little plastic container where I put rubbing alcohol in, and we'll leave it there for like 5-10 minutes, shake it around. The reason we use rubbing alcohol is, first of all, we need the liquid to clean it, but rubbing alcohol evaporates, so there's no chance of rusting. So we get to avoid that. So just take all the bearings out and put them in this little plastic container with the rubbing alcohol and leave it there for 5 to 10 minutes. Let's fast forward. Okay, as you can see in the table now, I got all the bearings out of the wheels. And now it's time to put them in the container. There we go. Then you can stir it around, shake it a little. And this is the part of the process where we're actually cleaning the bearings. And now I'm going to leave it here for about 5 minutes and come back and dry them up. Alright, so now it's time to take the bearings out and dry them up. So I'll just use a few double-layer paper towels. That's pretty simple, most people have that at home already. And this is where we need the gloves. Because rubbing alcohol is not good for the skin, and especially if you do this regularly, it's a really good idea to have some rubber gloves. They don't have to be pink. Alright, so let's see how they look. So we got everything out of the box now, and I'll just line my bearings up like that. Try and ease them out. And then because we use rubbing alcohol, we don't have to be afraid that they'll rust or anything. So I'll just leave them here for about 10-15 minutes and let them dry up, and then I'll come back and give them some oil. Alright, so now that we have let the bearings dry for a while, we are ready to give them some oil so they can be spinning perfectly. I believe in any kind of fine oil will do the job. At Topskate, my own company, we have our speed oil that I recommend everybody to get, but basically all kinds of fine oil will do the job. So we take the bearings and just a single, maybe 2 drops of oil is definitely enough. You don't want to over grease them so they will have resistance, but just a little bit so they'll run smoothly. So 1 drop on each side. And I will do this for every single bearing, and I'll fast forward that. Alright, so now they all got a few drops of oil, and we gave the bearings a little time to let it sink in. And this is where you try and spin them to make sure you get that oil all out in the whole bearing. And as you can see, after a few spins, they're dried up, they're oiled properly, and the bearings are spinning like new. Go through all of them, give them some good spins. If you can't make it spin perfectly, you can leave it for a while and then give it a few more drops and then try again, and I'm sure at some point you'll get to some really smooth spinning bearings. And once we're done with this, it is time to put them back in the wheels. Make sure that the wheels, if you were out skating in the rain, make sure that the wheels are dry too. Otherwise you're gonna put bearings into a wet wheel and they're gonna rust right away. So if you're sure your wheels are dry as well, there is nothing else left than just mount your bearings, get them back into your skates, and have some more sweet inline skating. I am gonna show you this process, but I'll speed it up because it takes a little while. And I just want to say thanks a lot for watching this video, and make sure to buy your skating equipment on topskate.dk. Have fun skating out there, and thanks for watching.